What if I told you that a local soda inventor used his profits to build a local hospital, and then 100 years later, that same company that he founded would even write a musical? Hi, I'm Michael, and I'm learning a little bit more about Kentucky. And to celebrate its 100th anniversary, today I'm learning about Ale-8. The origin dates back to Winchester in 1902 with a man named Lee Wainscott. He was a promoter and a product tinkerer who sold distilled water and syrups under the name Wainscott's Flavors. In 1906, he launched a drink called Roxa-Kola. It became a pretty big success, which then triggered a trademark lawsuit from one of the biggest soft drink corporations in the nation at the time. And Wainscott refused to back down, fought them all the way to the federal appellate court, and won by proving that his cola had its own unique footprint and did not deceive customers. This victory would eventually push him to create something truly unique. You see, in the 1920s, he traveled across Northern Europe and encountered ginger beers. Finding them a little bit too intense for the local palate, he spent years blending ginger extracts with citron notes until he cracked the code on a profile that was, in his words, not too hot and not too sweet. He launched the drink in July of 1926 at the Clark County Fair. The story goes that he ran a naming contest in which a young girl submitted the phrase, "A-Late-One," which was slang for the latest thing on the market. Wainscott shortened it to Ale-8-One. The drink found immediate success as an alternative beverage during Prohibition, allowing the company to grow throughout the Great Depression. In 1933, Wainscott used his profits to serve on the committee that built the Clark County Hospital, and then he was able to donate the funds to construct the nurses' quarters. By 1935, demand forced him to move operations to Broadway and Wall Alley, converting a livery stable into a bottling factory to double his production capacity. That same year, he officially registered the trademark with the U.S. Patent Office for Ale-8-One. When Wainscott died in 1944, his stock was split equally between his employees and his widow, Jane Rogers Wainscott. In 1949, the company introduced the returnable long neck bottle featuring the Shield logo. Early bottles were stamped with the slogan, "For Bracing Pep," which was later joined by the tagline, "Best in the bluegrass in the green glass." The family lineage shifted in 1954 when Jane left her stake to her brother Frank A. Rogers Sr. In 1962, he bought out the remaining employee shares and incorporated the business. To house their growing volume, the family built the current plant on Carroll Road in 1965. Strategy then narrowed. They dropped Roxa-Kola in 1968, and by 1974 they canceled all other remaining Wainscott flavors to focus exclusively on Ale-8. Frank A. Rogers III joined management that same year, anchoring the next generation of operations. For decades, they remained a strict one-flavor company. In the 1980s, they ran the Share It with a Squirrel advertising campaign, creating a jingle as well. And by the way, that squirrel's name is Sue. In 2002, they signed a major agreement expanding distribution into 61 counties across Ohio, Indiana, and of course, Kentucky. But that single flavor era ended in 2003 with the launch of Diet Ale-8, which was also the year Fielding Rogers joined the company as vice president. The year 2013 brought major operational changes. Fielding Rogers became CEO and took over as the formula steward, while Ellen McGeaney was hired as the first president from outside the family. Today, Fielding steps into a locked room to blend the flavor base from Wainscott's original handwritten notes, while professional management handles expansion. In 2015, the company introduced its first formal mission statement, directly modeling the corporate values after their bottle return program, writing, "Return for deposit. We believe in returning a deposit made in good faith." In 2016, they went national by entering all Cracker Barrel stores, doubling their direct delivery footprint. Flavor innovation accelerated with cherry in 2018 and then orange cream in 2019. In 2021, they rebranded the diet line to Ale-8 Zero Sugar, and by 2022, McGeaney became CEO while Fielding transitioned to chairman, and they then introduced a seasonal blackberry flavor that would eventually become permanent due to high demand. In 2023, they revived Roxa-Kola after a 55-year absence, but they also retired the returnable glass program, closing a long chapter of deposit and refill logistics. In 2024, they launched a summer straw melon flavor. They also launched the One Sip and You're There campaign featuring labels dedicated to the Red River Gorge. To clear up confusion in grocery stores outside the region, they introduced the slogan, "Ginger Ale dreams of being Ale-8," launching it with a musical commercial. Now, instead of hiring professional actors, they cast dancers and singers from the Leeds Center for the Arts right there in their hometown of Winchester. By 2025, they released a new pawpaw flavor developed with the Kentucky State University Research Farms Pawpaw program. Today, the Carroll Road plant produces up to 240,000 bottles daily, capping 600 bottles per minute with a workforce of over 100 people. And despite this growth, though, they still use their own fleet of trucks to directly service over 7,000 regional stores. Culturally, the drink is embedded in the state. The brand has inspired a bottling plant-themed lo-fi vinyl project and an independent country song titled Ode to Ale-8. They ran the Patriot campaign to ship over 2,000 cases of soda to troops in Iraq and Afghanistan and auctioned off custom sneakers for regional flood relief. They've expanded into pantry items like salsa, barbecue sauce, and official suckers made by Ruth Hunt Candy. Ale-8-One has spent 100 years proving that a business need not sacrifice its local soul to achieve success. So with that said, happy 100th birthday, Ale-8.